right now.
Please. And then we put on the jazz music.
Yeah, hold please. Customer service will be back with you in a second. All right, okay. Okay, I'm going to make sure that everything's okay here in the YouTube channel. Hmm, Taking a little while. It's
For the
going
jazz
on.
music.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the call. Super excited this morning. We have a great speaker that seems to be always very excited. Kimberly, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, George. I still hear my orchestra in the background. Is that cool or what?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out,
That's
to turn it
okay. We
off,
can
but
have music. I like it. But
okay.
anyhow, I am just so excited to be here today to share a few little ideas that I have or my vision. Like, I think my training is on goal setting, and goal setting is one of my most favorite things. I do goal setting like every day, every night. But I have to always also have a bigger vision in mind. Just when I said like, good morning, Mr. Multimillionaire George, I want to be a multimillionaire again. You know, it's just like we've made millions. All of us are truly millionaires. I've said this in a different training too, because we're all here. We're together. We have the best community of people and everybody. And I just really think, oh, wait, there we go. I just really think that we have to have a clear vision of what we truly are trying to accomplish in this business for ourselves, for our families, and ourselves shouldn't even be first, but you have to feed yourself first to feed the family, to feed the community, to feed everybody else that we need to work with. But I hope everybody listened to the training that Lance and Tracy Smith did last night. It was really
Mhm.
incredible. It was about big dreams, the vision, and all of that. I thought it was just so great. And I love the part where he took his future wife to this big hill, look over LA or whatever city that was in, look at all these beautiful homes and estates, and let's have one of these. What do you say? You know, he's looking for his power partner too in life. And I just think that is just so great. So we're all looking for our kind of like other power partners too, our board of directors. And I think one of the most important things is just having our vision clear. You know, it's like, this is what I see for my future. This is who I want in my life. This is how I want to live and my lifestyle. Who's with me? You know, some will like it, some won't. It's okay. But you're collecting the ones that want to go with you, that have their own big visions, their own big dreams. Somebody really famous who I love said, if you're going to be thinking, think big, think huge. You know, you're going to be thinking anyway. And sometimes I think we are maybe not where we want to be personally because we're thinking too small. Because it's like, oh, that's so small. I could do that. That won't take a lot of work. And then you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. But if you have a huge, audacious, giant goal that scares you, you're like, holy cow, how am I going to do that in a week? How am I going to do that in 9 days? That's how many days we have until we're in Las Vegas. So whether you're going or not, which I really think if you are on this call, you need to be here. You're one of the leaders. You're one of the key board of directors of three to help build our whole movement and this calling that we have. And if somebody is like, oh, tight on money, I've heard a few things like that. It's just like, okay, let's kind of figure that out. Two pro packs will give you a $700 PIB. That's like a ticket, at least for the flight, maybe four pro packs. And there's, you've got, I don't know, $1,500 or so. That's not even including the cycles. That's just the PIB. And, or even if it's just like three or four people, it gives you an extra $500. That's all we really need because we're going to be fed. We're going to be taken care of. Christine is always so wonderful and generous, and George and Adrian and all of our leaders. I mean, they help us so much to get into this area. And I mean, to get to this event. So really just figure it out on what you need to have to reach your goals. Don't settle back into, well, I only have this amount of money. Maybe I have to cut down my budget. Just think about how many more people you need to share this opportunity with and this gift that we have in 3, and then your whole budget would be increased, and so would theirs. So I think that we truly have the best business on earth, because what we're offering people is wealth and health, happiness, people that are like-minded. It is just the ultimate, the ultimate. And so, all right, as far as your vision goes, have a giant, big vision. Have a shorter deadline. Okay, don't think like, oh, I've got a whole year to do this. Forget about it. Do it within a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. But as long as you can be like, maybe you have a power partner. I think what George and Adrian are doing with those charts, as far as monitoring yourself on what your activities are really, really fantastic, because one of the key ingredients to realize your vision is to have a controlled mind. Sometimes we're all over the place, and sometimes people try to take us all over the place. They think because you're not driving to some kind of an office that you're free to do whatever you want. Oh, take me here, take me there, help me do all these different things. It's just like, you are so focused on what you need to do. I say, try to control your mind as much as you can. Focus on what you need to do first. The priority is talking to 10 people a day, and I'm always going to stick with 10 a day because I know it works. It's worked with me my entire career. 10, when you're meeting, talking, 10 new people a day. I mean, you could figure out your own enrollment ratio. That's what we used to call it, a recruiting ratio. How many people do I need to talk to and engage, get to Zooms to have a new team member? But everybody will figure that out, and your odds will get better because you'll be a little bit more, like, you'll be listening more to these people about what they like and what they want, instead of trying to say, oh, this is what we have, this is why it'll be better for you. You have to listen and see if they're the right person to be spending that much time with anyway. All right, so listening to, your prospects, not listening to the other people trying to distract you from everything else. Stay so focused and have that tunnel vision. I'll talk to you after my business hours or something like that. You don't have to tell people what you're doing, but just, focus on the most important things first that could move the needle. All right, so imagining the life you could build. This might be backwards, but this is in somebody's presentation. But imagining the life that you could build, and I would say just write it down right after this call, and write down your 10 leads that you're going to call before lunch. This is what I used to do when I had a full-time job. And I think sometimes when you have a full-time job, it's easier to compartmentalize these small little sections of time. Sometimes when you're like kind of like free and you have no responsibilities, nobody's calling you, nobody's expecting anything from you, maybe you don't do it sometimes, but I know a few of my team members probably are annoyed with me. It's like, wow, I got 3 leads. How'd you do? Did you get your 3 leads like before noon? And then 3 afternoon, and then 3 after work, and 1 for dessert. I promise the dessert is so sweet if you go that 1 extra mile. Every single time when I was in the other company and I would, like, plug along, I'd get up an hour early to drive from Indiana to Chicago to go to Starbucks before I went into my Amoco job. And so it's like, okay, here I am, 7 a.m. Who's around? But those are the ones. Those are the movers and shakers that are up early with you. They're like, yeah, I got the job again. I was like, I'm not going to be here forever. And they're like, really? Why? What do you got going on? And I would tell them, it's just like, this is just temporary, because I'm just kind of like doing everything I can to not get fired. That was my attitude toward the end. Keep my job so I could have that money coming in, and every single moment I had extra, I'd be out there telling somebody else, you don't have to live like this. You could have your own life. You could draw your future, you don't have to think like, oh, they pay me this amount and this is my vacation at like Wisconsin Dells. Nothing wrong with that. But I'd way rather be in Monte Carlo. Did you see all of those pictures? Oh my goodness. I was there one time and I could live there forever, but I want to go back. And all of these wonderful things that three has to offer us, it is our job to offer it to other people. Because, like, what kind of a person are we being if we have the secret to success and don't share it? And we think other people, oh, yeah, I like my accounting job. Like, I don't think so. Anyone with a personality does not like or love their accounting job or their engineering job. Let's just be clear. And people who like people. So, all right, the other thing that I think is so vitally important in this business is to keep to know what our business is. Our business is a people business. It's not just a vitamin business. It's not a supplements. We are a people business. The tool is the supplements. Okay, so it's just like when I was in the other company, I never even talked about if I'm autumn or summer or winter. I don't even know what that means. I have people do my own makeup half the time. I'm not a makeup expert, but I am a people expert. And I look for people that have big dreams, big goals, and they're just like, show me a way to help this happen. So anyhow, I just love that we have this great gift that we could pass on to everybody else. So that's really basically my thing is just have a big vision, huge, something that scares you, have a short time limit, and then practice meeting people. You might not get 10 leads a day in the beginning. I didn't. It's like start with my first one. I'd warm up with the Starbucks barista. They're always nice to you. It's like, all right, let's just go. Well, they were. I don't know how it is these days, but anyhow, usually it should be like, hi, good morning, good morning. You get your voice back, you get your energy up. And then I'd go, and then I was happy after talking to somebody who is paid to make you happy. And then I'd go talk to somebody else. But in the beginning, you get so many great responses that it becomes addictive in a good way. You're like, oh man, who else could I tell this about? Because people get so happy. So, all right. So you have your big vision, you plan your week, what kind of a check do I want to have at the end of the week? Have to have that. And then it's just like, okay, I'd like to have like $1,000 check, 5,000, or even if it's a $500 check at the end of the week, then back, like re-engineer it back and figure out how many people you might need to share this with who sees the dream. And then you're starting to go. All right. So you're planning, you have your big vision, you're setting up these little goals. You have your weekly goal, but then you also have to have your daily goal and your hourly goal, in my opinion. That's how I like to work it. I like to work it in chunks because if I say, oh, I have to have like 30 leads by the end of the week and I have nothing Monday and Tuesday, then it's Wednesday, it's like, oh yeah, I could go talk to 50 people tomorrow. That's like never going to happen, But unless you're at some kind of an event, but it's not like, oh, I don't know, have an event every day. But anyhow, the bottom line is when you do it in small little incremental chunks, it's easy and it becomes fun. It's just like, I used to go meet people out and about shopping because that's what I love to do. But whatever you love to do is how you find the people that like what you like, and then you have something to talk about and you can relate. So at first, when I was starting to go meet people, I'd be shopping, but I'd end up buying more things and meeting new people. And so after a while, I'm like, holy cow, that was $100, for the day. And I have no one to call. And so anyhow, then I thought, all right, before I want to buy this cute blouse, I see the blouse. Oh, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. It's just like so me. So, all right, who's around? Who likes a blouse too? all right, I'll go talk to her. Then after I would talk to somebody, I think like, okay, there's a possibility, so I could buy something. So I did little silly games like that to keep myself moving, to keep myself excited, and to keep getting the results that I needed to have every single day. And so, all right. So when you're doing things in little chunks, um, then after I had a few people with me and on my team, I would take them out with me as well. And then we would have we power partners. And that's such a blast, you know. It's just like I've done it already a few times with some of my team members who are in Chicago, and that is the most fun. I'll never forget one time I thought, all right, today, and you have to say every single day. So this is like part of your goal setting. What do you want to accomplish today? I said to myself, I want an attorney on my team. All of my team members had attorneys on their teams. I'm like the team leader and I didn't have an attorney. So it's just like, darn it, I'm going to go find an attorney today. And I did. And the reason it's like, all right, you guys, who wants to come with me? I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to find an attorney. And they're all laughing like, yeah, right. Okay. And it's like, I don't care. I'm doing it. I went to a law firm, sat in a Starbucks, found one, and she became one of my top directors. So anyway, it's just funny when you are, and I think Antoinette said something like that too. And I'm sure all of us have stories like this. Antoinette, it was like, I need one more person for my 40. I need a superstar. That's it. I am not accepting anything less. And then she got Shannon, you know, and it's just like we all have these times where, you know, even I think Craig might have said something about the parking, you know, finding a parking space. Oh, I started that in high school. It's like, I need that now. But I'm glad everybody comes to terms with that. When you're ready, you decide what you want, you speak it, you think it, you do it, you get it. And it always works. I'm getting way too worked up. But I love this so much. It is such a passion for me because, you know, when I was in the other company and stuff, and then I had to retire, and it was just like, what? Oh no. And I'm crying, like, what am I going to do now? Where are my people? I need people around me. And then this opportunity landed in my lap. I didn't care if what kind of a product it was, as long as it didn't kill me. And I just wanted to know that the people were the people I liked and that I could share something amazing with other people because there is nothing greater than helping somebody change their life. Even if you're just like, hey, check it out, and they go do their own thing. Great. If it wasn't for your invitation, they might never have known. And so it's our responsibility when we have something great right in the palms of our hands to give it away every single day. And the more people we give it away, the more it comes back to us and the more we can do like all the other things we want to do, whether it's our charities or our churches or just children or other people's children or whatever it might be. But it gives the money is the freedom to have these choices. So that's all I really have to say. It's just like we have the best gift. Use of, you know, create your vision board. And in fact, I don't know if I should say this, but sometimes I'll get a text from somebody who's like Christine or somebody else in the company who is like really super high up. And they're like, put that on your goal poster. I'm like, you're in France, you're in Nice, what? You're in S? Oh no, I want to be there. Put it on your goal poster. And it's like, all right, wait, where it is. All right, so this is just the Turks and Caicos one, but I am certainly adding the 6-star trip because whether it's this year or next year, I don't know what year, but I am working dog hard for this because I will be on it. And I want to have all of you on it. I know Christine will be there. I want to be there fast because even in the old company, it's just like I'm working so hard to be a national sales director so I can go on a trip with Christine. I finally become one and she retires. Like, wait, that was so awful. What is that timing? So it was just like, you have got to do it now. You have hurry. Take your friends with you. Let's have a party next year on the 6-star trip. And that's all I've got. So anybody else you want to please chime in? What are your favorite tips?
Thank you, thank you. Like always, very exciting presentation, very good presentation. and I had to go through some of the points that I took. I know there are so many, but first of all, if you have to think anyway, think big. Oh, hold on a second. Uh, okay, sorry.
I love that we're bilingual and multilingual, right?
Okay, that's right. But anyway, exciting is that if you have to think big anyway. And that's one of the challenges that sometimes we have. We are just trying to think the size of our pocket. Why we don't expand the pocket and to expand it to the size of our dreams? And that's why we have to think big. And I love that. I just, the other thing, the other point that's very important, well, she also has a small goals through the day, how many presentations she's going to do, connections, etc. And this is interesting. I don't know, you notice her. When she was, or she's connecting with people in Starbucks or anywhere, she's not talking about products.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that you build a business. If you're talking just about product, you're a small seller of supplement. That's a small business, by the way. The small business is just talk to a few people about the products, or a lot of people, doesn't matter. But when you are talking business, one customer, one business builder is worth 1,000 or 10,000 customers. And Christine has said that in many presentations. And that's so important. I hope that you saw that. That's super important. In no time, she's saying, I'm looking for somebody that's going to be, wants to be helping. No, I'm looking for attorneys. I'm looking for people that want to be part of my business, people that like the kind of clothing that I wear. That's interesting. I love that. But that's very powerful. Anybody else want to share? I know many of you want to share and to say something. Go ahead.
No, I thought that was great. Kimberly always is very enthusiastic and excited. And if you just follow what we tell you, I mean, I don't, can you hear me? It looks like I'm frozen. Can you
Yeah,
hear
you're
me?
frozen, but
Yes.
we could hear you.
Okay.
Now you're live.
Okay. I thought she did a great job, but it's about thinking big. It's thinking scarcity thinking, and I did teach all of my people. We built a huge organization in the Pink Company because we talked business rather than just product. We knew the people would be on the product, but we were looking for leaders because we knew we could influence more people. When you get leaders in, like Kimberly's looking for business builders and people she likes, people have common interests, people who know a lot of people. Not the wallflower at the party, but someone that comes in and everybody goes, oh, there's so-and-so, let's go over there, like the popular kid on the block, like almost like high school, everybody flocks, everybody wants to be around that person. Those are the kind of people you're looking for because they bring other people and they follow that person. And so you're looking for business builders that will bring in 1,000 people because then they will find other people like themselves. You don't want to have a wallflower, like George just said. I mean, we repeat this every single week. I know, and you hear it, but we have new people, but maybe someday it'll hit. I never talk product. I'm only talking career, business. What do you do? Just like, you're amazing. I love your dress. What do you do? Are you working outside of the home or do you work in corporate America? Oh, you're working in corporate America. Are you planning to do that forever? Well, no. Now Now you're going to say, oh, but I don't want you to think I'm crazy, but I'm just out shopping. I'm actually building a whole new team. I'm looking for people that want to build a global e-commerce business. Maybe you want to make another 100,000, $500,000, $1 million. I don't know. Would that help your family? Might be something for you. Would you open to be hearing about it? And if it's not for you, maybe you'll know somebody else. But I'm looking for leaders that want more to change their lives. Quiet. I said, and then I'll say, do you have a business card? And I don't even say, I just say, do you have a business card? Oh, well, here, let me give you my, if they say to you, oh, I'll take your card. I'll say, well, no, it's okay. I'm just looking for people that are really interested. I said, if you're really interested, I know you'll give me your name and number. Because when they say that, they're not going to call you back. Just be clear of that. When they say, oh, well, let me give you my card, I'll call you back. They do not. they forget, they stuff it in their purse. They just, they're not really engaged. So I'm going to waste my business card. Absolutely not. I'm all business. And then they might go, then I'll know. They go, oh, well, here, all right, here's my number. And if they don't say, well, that's great. Have a great day. Enjoy your life. I'm always very positive and upbeat, and I move on. I'm not desperate, but I'm looking for the right people. I'm looking for that. I'm a big game hunter. I'm looking for the big game, the lions, the tigers, the eagles. And that's what I taught Kimberly, and she does the same thing. The Antonets, the Elizabeths, the Irene's, everybody. We're looking for big game hunters because they'll bring in 1,000 people. We're talking only business. And then they say, well, what is the business? I say, what's in the supplement industry? I'll be glad to share that with you on a business Zoom call with my $1 million business partner or whatever. You're just trying to get them into a Zoom. You're just getting, don't go, oh, by the way, it's the most amazing products. I've had these wonderful testimonies. Now my legs don't ache anymore and I have more energy and I've never felt better. No. We're only talking business. If you go the other route, you can, but that is the slow boat to China. Okay? You want to be in the race car. You want to be in the rocket ship. So when you finally shift your mind and talk business and say, because nobody follows a parked car. When you are going forward, I'm looking for business builders. We're building this global e-commerce around the world. We're looking for leaders. If you're not interested, it's okay. See, I'm not desperate, and you don't want to be begging or desperate. You have to have this posture, like Kimberly says. Kimberly did a great job. She has these goals, these aspirations. She knows. She's looking at those pictures. I want to be in Monte Carlo too. I want to be on the 6-star trip. So she can't waste her time. She knows she has to find business builders to help her get there, because that's how this business works. You're getting to 3-star. Everybody on this call should be a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
End of subject. And when you get to 3-star, let me tell you, the next is 3-star pro. Don't think I've arrived, I have 6 people. Now I'll manage. You have nothing to manage yet. You need to build in those 6 and people behind more 3-stars to push you right up to 3-star pro. And then you move up to 3-star elite. And then you go to 4-star. And you're building these leaders. It's the new and the few that you work with. The leaders that are willing to do the work, not the ones that have the boat. Every time you call, they have an excuse of why they can't do it. Just love them.
They're going to go down. They're going to cut rates.
All right. Love them, but release them. But I think too often you sell out. You sell out on your dreams. And that's what Kimberly was saying. You sell out on your dreams because you don't want to go talk to new people. So you call your old people. How's it going? You got any leads? You try to work through those people and you don't hardly have anybody to work with yet, because it's easier to try to hope. And then someone will say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm just getting my life together. I'm going to do it. Well, and then you sit back and you do nothing. And then you allow them to control your paycheck. You need to be in control of making your own money. And that's finding the leaders. Remember, Kim, we only found 6 great leaders that made her $100 million. So let's just focus on getting 10 great leaders who are hungry, that want what you want, and show them the big picture. That group will rise up to those numbers. If you people say, well, I can't relate, I just want to try the product. How many times I've heard this? I can't sell anything if it works on me. I'm going, good grief. And you know what I say to people on that? I'll say, I know a lot of people that own liquor stores and they don't drink. I know people that own chocolate candy factories and don't eat sweets. So we know that we sold $150 million and almost close to 200 million in our first 2 years. We know this works and people like the product. We see the clinical studies. So, but those are excuses. Those are excuses. And tells you right now who they think, or how they think. See, what did Kimberly say? Kimberly said, I didn't care what the product was, as long as I could make big money, as long as it was legal and it didn't kill me. Those are the kind of people you're looking for, not the doctors necessarily. I love doctors. Don't get me wrong. I have doctors and they're wonderful. But if someone says, well, I've got to research all the details, well, okay, you're attracting people like that, and then they attract more people like themselves, because we attract who we are, not who we want. So you got to shift. If you want to play big time and make big money, let me tell you something. You got to change your whole strategy. And it's all about business. Okay? Because that's a slow boat to China. So
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, that's true. It's something and something that I was going to say too. See at the conversation that Christine does too, and the conversation that, for example, Lance and Tracy Smith and Samson and Kim, you never talk to them. You never hear them just, we are looking for the next person that's going to experience a lot of energy. No, they're talking about the products. And something I was going to say, I don't sponsor as many people as other people sponsor. And that has happened in every company has been.
Yeah.
However, my percent of people building business is very high, because that's what I'm looking for. There are people that sponsor way more people than me. Remember in the last, I remember last company, my group started growing very fast. I was like probably 6 months in that company. And she asked me, she came to me and she said, I have a question, George. I sponsor over 400 people and you already passed me. And at the time, sponsored probably like 30, something like that. And I talk about this now. She was a nutritionist. Guess what? She was talking just product because that's the way that her mindset was trained. However, most of her team were just basically patients, I would say that. And most of them, or rarely anybody was referring people. And if they were referring, was another customer. And that was very small growth. It's interesting because it took her probably 2 years to change her mindset. And the day that she changed her mindset, she exploded and eventually she became a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very, very important, because it's not the amount of people that we sign up, it's the quality too. And when I mean the quality, yeah, I thought if somebody wants to buy the product, I of course I sell it, but I always make sure that I have in the back of their mind that there's a business here.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. But anyway, Caroline, I think you have a question before, although I don't see your hand anymore. Caroline Small? She probably is not hearing us.
No,
Okay.
she's there. She's there. She says she's looking at you. Maybe look at Caroline. I think she's looking at her cell phone or something.
Yeah,
Or
she's
she's
distracted
frozen.
right now.
She's frozen, I think.
Or she's frozen.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we can hear you
Sorry.
now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's hard to follow, Christine and Kimberly. But I wanted to share that yes, I did a Starbucks thing too the other day. I was just sitting there with my dog Coco, and Coco. I have to tell you guys, if you bring your dog with you, you'll connect with people.
Yeah.
So Coco, I brought him to Starbucks, and then these people, mother and daughter team, loved the dog. And then we were talking about they were going to a wedding. They're from out of town, and then they go, "Where can I get some makeup done?" My friend, another friend, Christine, does makeup. So it was just like a connection. And then the next day, she was sending me pictures of the wedding that they went to, and I never knew these people live 3 hours away from Los Gatos, but I've made a connection with them, and now I'm actually introducing some of the stuff because she asked me what I do. So we talk about business, just like Christine was saying. So yes, I'm planting seed. It's going to take a while, but I want it now. But Adrian was just asking me what I'm doing today, so I said I'm going to go to Starbucks and connect. So
Cool.
Bravo.
Perfect.
Bravo.
Yes,
Bravo.
yeah,
Bravo.
Starbucks seems to be a great place. By the way, it's interesting because this happened recently. Somebody was telling me, we were talking, and the same thing, I just remember saying, oh, I sponsor way more people than me, the person said. But it's interesting because in my case, even though I had less, the amount of people that had come in their organization is incredible. It's just because the quality people that we have in the team. Imagine a person like Christine, or a person like the different teams that we have in a team. I can go over and over again, but we have the Tilson, we have Jessica Mother, of course, Kimberly Starr of as Christine team, and then we have Nicole Baron, and these are people that are building the business. Now, some of them are going slower, some of them are faster. But this is the cool thing, very important. And by the way, Starbucks, again, it's a great place to connect with people. It's a great place. Any place where there are people. One of my my mentors, Mark Janelle, and if you heard some of his, when he started in the business, he never paid at the pump. He always went inside the gas station because he wanted to talk not only to people that were there inside, but to the manager, to the person that was there. He said, I never pay at the pump. He was all the time he was closing. Always, remember the call yesterday with Nilbert, be always closing, always closing. But that's the same thing, always prospecting. You always are prospecting. And again, he was going inside the store, and if he, for some reason, he was pumping the gas himself, although he rarely did, he was talking to the person that was around him, talking the same thing. But it's so important. But anyway, anybody else wants to add, because it was